any semblance of the imagination that they find just pissing me off just is like their national pastime, annual pastime or something. Cause we just came out of probably the worst time to be a wrestling fan. Well, technically we had the Wednesday Night Wars. Oh my God, Sting turned up on AEW. We just had Edge return at the Rumble. Sky's the limit. That's it, baby. Biden 2020. Okay, other than all that political nonsense that I'm not going to uh, normally just pounce on my political views just to have some sort of stupid uh, little target audience in all of this. All I'm going to tell you is as much as the Raw reunion went over 3 million, they haven't went over that type of viewership in the last 4 years consistently. It's pretty shocking of value to show who they're returning. Kurt Angle, Tori Wilson, Beth Phoenix, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Sergeant Slaughter, Carlito, Mickey James, even though she's technically still part of the active roster, Tatanka, IRS, Michael P.S. Hayes from the Fabulous Freebirds, Alicia Fox that hasn't been seen since like Raw Reunion or something, and others. So, if you need any other reason, come the start of the year, January 4th, 2021, the next episode of Monday Night Raw will be another pulsive ratings grab because obviously nobody else on the main roster can make themselves as charismatic to get their asses over. Why you think WWE gotta do this crap? Obviously over their ploy to struggle to stay over to a tone, actually captivate on actually making storylines for some of the roster except for very few, and then later on try to actually pick it up and make it a consistent televised program. Because I had faith in actually getting adult content or at least a semblance of drama. Like you don't have to make things adult. That's what fans don't get. Don't have to make things edgy to make it entertaining. You just gotta make it impactful or it's surprising to get a storyline out of it. Some people just didn't care about big chested or big booty wrestlers, female wrestlers. They just want to see captivating, charismatic females that can also wrestle now. And I don't know why that can't be possible. There was Emma. There's sometimes Charlotte. There's potential. You don't just swing that away for a feminist notion. That's what Stephanie doesn't get. She's an idiot for that. Triple H, for lying over every indie guy over the sun. And Vince, that obviously is overly inconsistent, but he shows to at least have some certain concerns over his pro wrestlers, abiding over his rule set that's still, picking upon over a publicly traded company. Like, I don't understand. And we have to abide come January 4th, a Legends Night. They literally shoved the ass of a Raw reunion over for a ratings pop. Because newer fans, or at least some older fans, know who these people are. That's the saddest thing. Usually you have like a legend or two show up on like an important moment of Raw, a special guest motion, a GM appearance, or hell, an anniversary edition. Back January, I think July 11th of 2019, this was literally just over the Papa rating. Because Raw were getting 1.8s, 1.7s, 1.6s. You've got a 3.8, 3.0, 93 just over the first hour of just showing like hotter chicks than most of the main roster, actual legit characters, Stone Cold Steve Austin, stunning Vince McMahon. Just cooler stuff than most of the roster that's half indie, most uncharismatic, and the most inconsistent. Don't get me wrong, folks. I'm not just trying to bury over the talent because I think they're not that interesting to get over in a modern sense, or at least in a mainstream set, but you guys catch the drift. Why do you think Vince got to do this even though it's not even technically a special occasion? like Raw 25, I would understand. Hell, they even taped it into an arena where Monday Night Raw originally was from. That what I think was like a legitimate reason why to do an anniversary show. It was just super disappointing over the way they booked it. And now we're doing this garbage again. We're doing this garbage again. And they don't try to change the notion. They don't want to make different match stipulations. They don't want to change up any sort of stuff in, like, change any semblance of a tone over to the show because they know how much of that third hour really means to Monday Night Raw. And it's really bad to, like, notice this over the loss of popularity, the loss over fan base, the loss of actual psychology, the basis of storytelling, and the duration of fan interest. They think over the most time fans, or at least people have the most, attention span to watch over a freaking YouTube video. I think WWE try to captivate that into their own wrestling matches. God, so bad. Because technically, I don't care anymore. Over what I've been seeing, I'd rather see Beth Phoenix, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Kurt Angle, Mickie James, Carlito, Sergeant Slaughter, and freaking Alicia Fox than the freaking Retribution staple, always jobbing over freaking Ricochet and Dana Brooke, fat ass Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler just munching over screen time. Charlotte Flair is still not having any semblance over an identity, yet over still in the top scene in the women's division. Asuka literally being the funnest female to watch, and she can barely speak a link of a full sentence in English. Not getting any hot chicks over. NXT just getting salivated upon for just being an expensive Ring of Honor. And whatever in the hell Keith Lee is doing, because I don't give a crap. I find good potential in some of the stars in the roster. I do like Roman Reigns is doing. I don't mind Drew McIntyre. Styles has always been an underrated talent for me, even if he is overly announced by some of the hardcore fans. You can't tell that the guy still has an entertaining factor about him. I like the Usos. The New Day at least made a name for themselves, so you can't put it that much, and they're successful enough financially for the company. The Miz is a decent actor and potential, but I think he's structurally, like, overachieved. And you gotta stop, like, appointing his promos that he was, like, a main eventer nearly over a decade ago. Well, I think it was like the final episode of Raw that of 2010 he won the WWE Championship by cashing in against Randy Orton. I remember that episode, and that was just munched over in the fact. And he was like, "What? Like he's like an 8-time Intercontinental Champion, a multi-time SmackDown Tag Team Champion. Like, shut up." No semblance of his character of just unsingly screaming over the mic is going to make him that convincing of a main eventer. Chris Jericho always mumbled over the fact that he beat The Rock and Steve Austin into the same night, and still he beats like The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and John Cena for world championships. Dumb. It's just ridiculous. And most of the information I'm getting from this roster is SJW baby tard indie schlop that obviously have no semblance of actually being ambitious. And yet again, instead of trying to improve upon the roster, make characters, make interesting, captivating storylines to get it, weekly over television, because, people don't like cookie cutter nonsense when it comes to close combat. They want adult stuff. Wifing RPM is like one of the most liked Power Ranger shows. Not because it had cool Zords. The Zords sucked. People liked the story. jeez, I'm a bit conflicted over how I feel about another reunion show just over the Papa rating, over the nostalgia factor, because they know that Monday Night Raw hasn't been above a million. Above 2 million in I think over a year now. The most they popped over was a 1.75, and I think a 1.8 over the span of 3 months or four. And you see why WWE does this. I'm sick and tired of some fans blaming one person. Yes, Vince McMahon controls what's going in and out in the WWE. He has the final say in everything. But it also has to do with the camera crew, the way they're training them, the way they think they're mentally set to be on television, even though most of these guys barely have a lick of charisma, or at least some semblance of a TV-ready personality to at least show themselves to be captivating. That you see why people tune off whenever they watch Monday Night Raw, especially when you're consuming both NXT, SmackDown, NXT UK, 205 Live. No one's gonna be consumed over that type of content. And whenever you try to ask a fan, or at least an old fan, who's on the roster, the most you can say is, "Oh, Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio are still there." Oh, God. And then they have to do these old, dying SJW messed up sellouts that's still peeking over to grab a check just to pop the rating for at least over 500,000 to still watch your crappy 3-hour schlop that barely even has a storyline. At least when Nitro was at least going 3 hours, they had the NWO. What do we have? Retribution. I like the Hurt Business, but overall of that, half of the faction jobs, and Cedric and Lashley do something. Yes, I understand MVP's the mouthpiece, but why isn't he getting as strong as, any of them? I mean, he's more experienced. Still can go. He works a stiffer style, and he's pinned world champions before. The guy literally pinned Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy before. Mark Henry, feuded with Kane, the guy obviously been through hell before, and you're telling me that he comes around jobbing out to this fake pothead, no boots wearing artard that can't even keep his words, keep his reputation up. God, I'm sorry I'm going over this bashful rant because I'm just really confused why in the hell people are not understanding why Vince has to do what he has to do, and why I think these reunion shows are gonna suck. Because either way, this is just gonna benefit Vince in the end of all things. Because of course, people are gonna be watching still the show because these old stars are coming back. The ratings are gonna pop over. They still have enough over that third hour for commercials, especially of that first hour. And people are going to watch more of the Steve Austin, Ric Flair, and Hulk Hogan than Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, and Clee. And I don't want to say that because I want to see great potential of these guys, but this is what the WWE gets, I guess. That's it for me. If you guys want to hear anything else involving the Legends Night, oh crap! I know the show's gonna suck, but at least vouch me that you were expecting this. You were expecting another Forced Reunion episode. Uh, I would like to, vouch up for some of the stars in the WWE current roster, but they put this upon themselves, and that's just my opinion. If you guys disagree, that's okay. Just, uh, don't take it as hard as I'm trying to bring it out to you. But, that's all I got. Happy holidays. Thanks for taking your time to watch the video.